Hello, it's Scott Manley here with a 360 video based upon one of my favourite games of all time, EVE Online. It is one of the world's largest and most persistent MMOs, with hundreds of thousands of players logging into an online universe, fighting for their faction of choice in a rich universe where factions fight across thousands of star systems to maintain supremacy. Using beautifully rendered starships inside a rich game lore, in this 360 video I want to take you inside all of this. The Amarian Empire is the oldest of the factions, a theocratic government holding sway over more space than any other power and pledging allegiance to their god empress, Jamil Serum. Their golden spacecraft are monuments to their religion, armed with high-tech energy weapons supported by drones, but with traditional armour for defence. The Minmatar Republic is the youngest. It is a tribal government, formerly slaves of the Amarians. They only achieved their independence after a bloody rebellion which is still fresh in many people's memories. Their spacecraft are low-tech, using projectile weapons and missiles mounted on rust-hued hulls. This low-tech approach has, however, helped them field some of the fastest ships in their ongoing conflicts with their former slave masters. The Caldari state is dominated by the corporations, who are true wielders of power within the state. The interests of business are the fundamental drivers of Caldari politics. Their spacecraft possess the best defensive shield technology and favour missiles and long-range railguns. Their designs are utilitarian, with little consideration given to the aesthetics of their vessels. The Gallente Federation is the only true democracy in New Eden. They have their roots around the same star as the Caldari, but ultimately went to war and drove the Caldari from their homeworld. The Gallente spacecraft represent the antithesis of Caldari design philosophy, with the Caldari's hard edges replaced by curves, armour instead of shields, and close-range blasters with powerful drone support as weapons. Concord are the space police of New Eden, maintaining strict control over high-security space, with the ability to respond to any illegal act in the domain within seconds. Their ships have almost godlike powers, able to destroy any Capsuleer's ship with weapons and defences that are unmatched. Outer Ring Excavations developed the premier industrial spacecraft in New Eden, ships for mining asteroids and salvaging wrecks. Formerly part of the Gallente Federation, they have now become an independent entity and call the Outer Ring region their home. The Servant Sisters of Eve are a humanitarian aid organisation, operating many stations outside of Empire space, where weary travellers can seek refuge. The Sisters of Eve are also actively researching wormholes, in particular the Eve Gate, which brought humanity to New Eden thousands of years ago. Mordu's Legion are a legendary mercenary force based out of Pureblind. They were originally Gallente who sided with the Caldari and ultimately developed their own Caldari-influenced spacecraft, focused on missiles, shields, but with speeds bested only by the Angel Cartel. The Angel Cartel are a huge organised crime syndicate based out of the Curse region, near Minmatar space. Their ships are rumoured to merge Minmatar and Jovian technology, enabling them to field the fastest ships, and yet this technology is not reflected in their low-tech projectile-based weaponry. The Serpentis Corporation are a rogue Gallente organisation which has moved its operations far from Empire space into the Fountain region. Their biochemistry division is responsible for many of the narcotics in known space. Serpentis ships are derived from Gallente ships with bigger guns and less reliance on drones, the single exception being the Daredevil, developed by the Angel Cartel under contract. The Guristas are space pirates operating out of the Venal region. Although they have been known to work with the Caldari state or Mordu's Legion when it suits their needs, their ship designs are all derived from Caldari ships, although they claim the Caldari Scorpion is actually a clone of their Rattlesnake. Like Caldari ships, they use missiles and shields, but the Guristas version adds much more effective drone support. The Blood Raiders represent an outlawed offshoot of mainstream Amarian religion, which makes its home in the Delve region. Their religious rites feature ceremonies centered around human blood, with a preference on fresh blood. Blood Raiders prefer to capture their victims as intact as possible, and their fleets are made up of Amarian-derived ships equipped with the special energy neutralizer technology and stasis webifiers to prevent a victim fighting or escaping before they can be harvested. If the Blood Raiders are space vampires, then Sancha's nation are space zombies with an army of cybernetic slaves ruled over by Sancha Kuvake. Once thought to have been destroyed, they have reformed again in the Stain region and are regularly making incursions into Empire space. Their ships are possibly the most advanced outside of Jovian technology, merging advanced energy weapons with shield-oriented defenses. We don't know if the drones really consider themselves a faction, but they behave like one. Having rewritten their programming, they have taken up residence far from human space, in a swath of space referred to as the drone regions. They don't generally communicate with humans, so their plans and motivations remain a mystery to the rest of New Eden. Even more mysterious are the Sleepers, an ancient race initially discovered through archaeological sites in Minmatar space. Their drone fleets were discovered to have awoken in wormhole space. These are some of the most formidable enemies Capsuleers will encounter, and their technology is essential to making Tech 3 ships. However, after half a decade confined to wormhole space, they have begun venturing into New Eden, coinciding with a cataclysmic event in Jove space that began a story arc which is being uncovered by the players. Formerly cloaked Jovian stations have been discovered all over New Eden. Sleeper drones have been observed harvesting the corpses of Capsuleers, and the Drifters have arrived as an even more powerful, emerging threat. This story will continue to be told through the discoveries made by player explorers, while the Drifters may be making more forceful incursions into known space. And on top of this, the sovereignty wars of the player alliances in Nullsec will continue to play out with their own brand of player-driven politics. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.